Hey, we love when a thumbnail comes together and looks really good, almost like it's exactly what we drew up. And this is what we have been looking for a bit of time here. We've been putting out this information as we have gone to the upside, suggesting that we really want to test the buyers down in these areas. Now, there is a lot to discuss today. We are going to go over the bullish case. We are going to go over the bearish case. Because of the aggressiveness of this downside, you have to pay attention as you are below that 5-day moving average. So we are going to get into a lot of things today, mainly with the SPY Qs and volatility. As volatility is up by 14.97%, that means we have an 85% chance to see an update in the next 2 trading sessions, and you bet your bottom dollar that we're going to be paying attention to Friday. So let's get into it. Before we really get into the SPY, I really wanted to go through a few things. Before we get you guys updated daily expected moves and everything like that, you can see that these obviously are not updated. The first thing we wanted to talk about was you saw a crash today. Isn't that crazy? You can actually say that you definitively saw a less than 5% moment for the market. Isn't that pretty dang crazy? You saw a second standard deviation move and you even closed outside of it. So congratulations. If you are wanting to see a stock market crash, from a day-to-day perspective, you saw a stock market crash today. Very, very interesting, isn't it? But thankfully, we had that line. We're ending right in there, back down towards the gap fill at this point. Now, this dramatic move makes us have to talk about a few things. So we're going to talk about a little bit of the bull side to start off here, okay? And we're going to update these daily expected moves after we get through a few topics. So stick with me here as we go over to the SPX to start off this conversation. Now, as you can see, we have started to lose the bottom side of this gap. When you lose these kinds of zones, you want to watch for rolls and things like that. But at this point, you're going directly into where those good buyers are, and there are good buyers below you as well. Now, in this case, when we do say good buyers, it's important to scroll back to a time where we did a move very similar to this, right? We did a move very similar to this right over here. We saw a volatile moment, not as volatile, right? But we were able to dip into some actual good liquidity, right? We spent a lot of time here to get in that area to kind of pile up a bunch of money that when we dipped into there, we went to the upside. Did we do that over here? Not necessarily. So if you really want this thing to go to the bull side, you wanted this to pop above that 5-day moving average, see some kind of pullback, and then turn up into positive territory. So what is the surefire, or at least the highly probable way to know that we are going to test this high, go make a new one? Well, we're gonna cross up into positive territory on the 2-hour for the SPX, for the SPY. That is very, very clear. Now, what was the other thing that we were talking about when we were talking about all of this? We were talking about structure, right? Left head, right shoulder, and you're going, oh, well, we completely violated that. Well, that's where you have to bring up futures, right? It's important to know that a lot of the things we were talking about was over here on futures. So let me clear a few things out. So we did actually see that this as a left shoulder once we started to rise to the upside. And what do we like to say? You want to break that neckline, break that previous high. You want to see that price show above it. Then you want to dip down and give that right shoulder that could have been to go to the upside. Can this fail? Yes. But as far as bullishness goes, the structure here looks very good. As far as it stands, I think the bears do have an argument here for sure at this point. But as far as structure goes, as far as price action goes, minus the slight liquidity issue, you have a good setup for bulls to just see upside with this. So as it stands, looking at this market from a bullish lens, you have a few things with you that the bears do not. The bears do not have a downtrend. The bears don't have structure to the downside. And we're going to go over those things in a little bit. But I thought it was important to show you guys the future, show you guys the SPX with the price action, with that gap, but then also show you guys the structure for this overall move. So let me update those daily expected moves for you for the SPY. We'll finish up the bull side for a moment, and then we'll leak into that bear side. What to look for if we are going to roll to the downside and see downside for a bit of time, because if we fail in these areas, it can get ugly. The bears did some good work today, so it's important to go over that. Let's finish up the bull side and get you guys daily expected moves, and then we'll get into the bears. For your daily expected moves for tomorrow, you pretty much have like a whole week's worth of implied volatility. We are on the 30-minute chart as of right now, but we already know this. If the 2-hour chart is able to curl up, where is it? Really close to the center line. So if the 2 hour is able to confirm to the upside, confirm on this MACD, see a good bar close above all of these moving averages that are right in that area, then this would be a higher low. That would tell us that the daily scale, boom, is going to turn up here. But as of right now, it is rejecting. So we're going to talk about the bear side as well in a moment. But first, let's go over, hey, how do we know if this 2 hour is going to curl up, right? We have those daily expected moves for you. Big amount of implied volatility. This is your 68% zone for tomorrow. And if you want the rest of those daily expected moves, go join Patreon. The link's down in the description. We see here, let's just take in stride the bullish case still, right? We're wrapping up the bullish case. There are two main things that we want to see in this area to really say, okay, we are going to head to the upside. Like I said before, we wanted to have better liquidity to dip into. We don't have that as much, right? So we need some pretty good moves here. We need the bulls to step up because this is some pretty good selling, and we are going to talk about that bear side. What do you want to see to get a hint if that 2 hour is going to confirm to the upside? Well, you would want to see what? You want to see the pretty much, this is best case scenario. We're going to go over the other scenario for the bulls on the 30-minute chart, but this is best case scenario first. Let's go over that. Best case scenario is you boom here, you come outside of that daily expected move, you start to see a drop, and then Monday you're able to dictate a higher low, and that 2 hour starts going, and you're pointing directly towards 700 by the end of the month. The scarier one, as we start to talk more and more into the bear side here, and this would look like that, right? That higher low would look something like this on your MACD. That would curl up your 2 hour chart. The other bullish thing that we can pay attention to is if you get that big reaction or you get some kind of fading move like this and you go down into these type of areas, and you turn back to the upside, right? We hit a daily expected move on, say, like, Monday or Tuesday or something like that. And we see a 30-minute divergence. A 30-minute divergence can really tell us, oh, okay, we're going to head to the upside on that 2 hour with a high probability, right? Those are your overall hints for bullishness. The only problem is this is a vigorous amount of selling. You are confirming some serious things over on volatility. It is up by, more than 10%, which tells us we have an 85% chance for an update tomorrow, right? And that gets people excited. They go, that means we're doing this. Look at that green. You have to take it in stride and say, update just means update. That means we could go like this all day Friday. And if you do this, this is where we're going to start to talk about the bear side. Yes, you can go and make that divergence point, and you'd want to be ready to react. That's why we say trade like water on this channel, water going down the stream. If you see a divergence that is a rock that could send you into the sewer based on what you're trading right now, well, then you might want to switch. You might want to get a little paddle out and start going the other way so you can end up in the meadow. Might want to switch. Perfectly fine. Trade like water. But in this area, rolling is very serious with the low liquidity issues. If you come up to these areas and roll by next week, it is almost guaranteed that you are going to test down into these areas. I would say 664 is just a great level to watch for. 664, pretty much on the dot. If you are able to come up and roll that level, you most likely aren't making a divergence point at that time. So we'll have to pay attention, and we'll say this. If you see another move like this and roll it again, you are going to be playing with some serious downside. So these rolls can be very, very ugly at this point. You are technically making a potential 2 hour lower high now. That is a big deal. That means this is the chance, and we set that up in these areas, right? This is the time where if the bears really want to cause some kind of top, like right now, they would have to do it right now. So it looks scary. That's why we talked about not messing around with it in yesterday's video, but at the same time, understanding if this turns back up, it is a higher low. So for the bear side, we would overall say, if you start to see a little flagging, if you reject off of the 5-day, if you do not see a good buy come in, and then that starts to roll, you have to treat these roll downs very, very seriously. If we make a divergence over here, fine, you'll see me mentioning it in my videos. You'll see me posting about it on Patreon. But for now, if you see those rolls initially, you don't necessarily want to be caught up on any kind of downside in this area because you don't have a ton below you that can really hold you up. So we'll see what happens in these areas. We might have to build a higher low for the bulls. We might have to build a slight divergence for the bulls. But just in case that drop is a little more meaningful and you don't see some kind of divergence, you want to watch out for those big rolls to the downside for the bears. Once again, for the Qs, we have a massive, massive move here. So a big, big deal going into this Friday. And we do see what? Ooh, maybe we're going to form that divergence point for the 2 hour. We are still paying attention to divergences. We are very reactive on this channel. We see some great sellers in these areas, so it's going to be very difficult. As far as the bull side, you want to see the same things, right? We really, really want to see this 2 hour chart to what? Curl up. Right now, look, it's closer to the center line. If you took the course that is down in the description, the full technical analysis course, we discussed divergences, we discuss higher lows, which this right now, if it turned up, would be a higher low, and why they are important for your indicator. We go in depth with that because a lot of people don't talk about that. They just say curl up on MACD, good. We go in depth with it to tell you why that is important, and it makes a lot of sense, and people kind of hit themselves on the head after and go, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Sorry if you hear baby girl screaming again. So you want to see if this 2 hour is going to curl to the upside, right? Because that tells you what? Well, that tells you that the Qs are going to call this right. The Qs are the ones that told us with the flat divergence, with the wiping out of divergence on the MACD. The Qs are the ones that are telling us we might not be done yet. We might have another move to the upside. That's what saved us from taking big short positions right here. Qs really helped us out. So we want to see if that 2 hour is going to confirm to the upside because that'll really tell us if this is highly probable to curl up and we're likely to test this high, go make a new one. So the 2 hour curling up in the next 2 trading sessions is going to be critical. You want to pay attention to this very closely. We do have those daily expected moves up for you. I can't remember if I read them off, but I'm going to read them off one more time as we get into some things here. We do see 618.99 to the upside. We see 597.81 to the downside. Big, big range down by the monthly expected move. What do you want to see here for the bulls? You want to see this dictate itself as a higher low, right? We want to see this as a higher low. We want to see a strong move here that potentially does give you some kind of dip, some kind of pullback. If you just go, that would be best case scenario, but you want to see a higher low or a divergence. Now, the cool part about the Qs are if they do see that lackluster day, and I would watch the Qs as far as the divergence play goes. And then on Monday, we do drop down and you kind of make an even low here. See if there's a little 30-minute divergence here because that'll tell you that the 2 hour is going to curl up, and or at least highly probable. And then if the 2 hour does curl up, that's going to tell you it's highly probable the daily curls up because you have 2 hour divergence as well. So the Qs are going to be critical. You're going to hear me talk a lot about them in my videos a little bit more thoroughly over the next few sessions. As far as it stands, I don't see a lot of good bears in here as of right now. I actually think that the bears really gain some ground right at that 5-day moving average, right at where that gap kind of begins. So if you are looking for the bearishness here, you would want this to roll, right? And then you probably wouldn't want to make a divergence here, and then you'd want to roll again. That would be very, very bad. So these rolls can be serious, so I'm not going to hold on to call positions if we see rolls. That being said, if you want to know what I did today, I bought calls off of the 95% line, right, and below the 95% line at the end of the day, right? Now, these are very risk managed positions. We posted to Patreon today suggesting that being very risk managed at this time towards the end of the year, where you don't want to take a trade that's like, yeah, I'm gonna risk all my money and try to buy a house at the end of this year. You don't want to do that because you're going to ruin a full year's worth of hard work of good trading. So what I'm overall saying is, hey, I'll risk enough money to maybe pay for a few Christmas presents, and if it gets wiped out, it gets wiped out. It is what it is. But I'm going to be very reactive if I see the bearish things. So the bullish things would be, I really like the higher low scenario. I would like us to just get going and see a higher low personally, but I'm going to be open to a divergence. But knowing that point where we roll down right here, if we just see a sluggish up day tomorrow and Friday and we roll, that is going to be dangerous. You're going to be dabbling with some low liquidity lows in there, and we'll see how that proves itself over the next few sessions. So as of right now, you can tell my money is to the long side. If we do see a roll, I am not going to play around with that going into next week. why wouldn't you play around with it? Why wouldn't you just risk a lot of money? Why wouldn't you, keep it on if the weekend hits? Well, because volatility screamed higher. Now, I called out that this could go test 20 again. I even said, hey, we could go all the way up to that 2151. Now, that was said about a week ago or something like that. But overall, the big thing for me is this is a positive trend, right? So all this has to do is dip down tomorrow, right, before the morning, and then bam to the upside, because VIX opens up at 2 in the morning-ish my time. So as it stands, we could see more downside on Friday. We don't have to see some big up day or some sluggish up day at that. So what do you want to see from volatility that tells you it's turning down? Well, right now you're not seeing it. You're seeing the 2-hour confirm into positive territory. You want that thing to roll down. The daily scale, you're seeing that confirm back up to the upside, actually confirming above the 200, but not getting above these levels, which I find very, very interesting. Once again, right back here, you heard me say, I think it's interesting that we faded this move, 1, but 2, we didn't even see volatility like this. And then the next time we see a crash day. You saw a sub 5% move today. Yeah, it's a big move from volatility, but you would think that people would really get shaken out of that. So we'll take it in stride. As of right now, volatility is in positive trend. So that tells me even though I am long, I have to be very, very cautious. I have to make sure that this isn't curling down on a 30-minute and confirming back to the upside. So something that would tell me to get out of those positions before the weekend would be if VIX is able to pull back. Maybe we see some kind of dead cat bounce early in the morning and we see volatility turn back around on Friday, giving us a higher low for the 30-minute. That means that we are likely to test this high, go make a new one. And if we don't make some kind of divergence point on Monday to go down, well, then volatility might just be scaling through the roof. So if I do see volatility give us a 30-minute higher low, I will be very, very cautious with this market. But as of right now, going into tomorrow, what's the important point for volatility for the VIX? The important point for the VIX as of right now is that we were up by 14.23%. So there is something that we discuss at these times. Do you want to go short on a day where VIX is telling you that you should be that overall we're going to see a bounce in the next 2 trading sessions with an 85% chance? Do you want to go short on a day where not only did they give you a crash, but the way they gave you a crash was you had to see it all day? Retail had to watch it happen all day. Interesting. Do you want to bet on those things when you are completely oversold on the 30-minute chart? Do you want to do those things when the 5-minute is piling up a bunch of divergences towards the end of the day on Thursday, when we're going into a Friday where options will potentially expire and volatility is telling you there's an 85% chance for an up day? What are we discussing at the end of this video? We're discussing decision making. Now, that can work for you every once in a while, but the higher probability here is you are going to see at least some kind of upward move like this that fails. Maybe that is going to be good for the bears. That would be the overall bearish scenario. Or you are going to see a nice upward day that actually gives you a higher low that actually ends up supporting the bulls as the bulls try to make a 2-hour higher low, as that is still the more probable scenario at this point, as the 2-hour is showing some good price action, as the 2-hour is just going into this gap, and as it is by that center line. So as of right now, you want to be weary of the downside. You maybe want to be patient in your reactions, but it looks like the bulls and the bears are going to have a serious fight tomorrow to see which way this is going to go. Are we going to confirm the 2-hour to the upside with a 30-minute higher low at some point? Or are we going to see a dead move that really dictates, hey, we need to at least test those lows, where we are in danger of rolling and rolling and rolling again and again and again. Hey, thank you guys for watching this video. I just hope it is helpful for you. I really wanted to take some time with this. I even filmed it a couple of times just to make sure that the points that I'm getting out there are very clear. Both sides today, bull and bear side, we saw a dramatic downside move today. We thought it would be a little dramatic, and so we have to talk about these dramatic moves like this, but I'm still doing exactly what I said a couple of days ago when I drew up this in the thumbnail. I drew it up in the thumbnail and I said, it looks like we're going to go retest that gap, and they want you to see it so that you're not in the move to 700. I still believe that that is the overall sentiment here going into the end of November, but If I do see certain things, then I am going to react to that. I am not someone who holds a bias and wants to be all prideful and think that he has to be right. If I see a bearish thing, I will get out of my long positions. If I continue to see bullish things, then I will stay in my long positions. Hey, thank you guys so much. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. I hope you guys have a great trading session tomorrow, and Patreon members, make sure to have those notifications on. We will have daily expected moves out to you in a moment, and we will have potentially some video coming out tomorrow in case we do get the market to prove something and tell us a hint. Thank you guys. Have a great night. Peace out.